Hey everyone, this is Quinn at the Plant Good Seed Company. I'm out here at Rancho del Pueblo Farm in Ojai. We are going to be talking with farmer Steve Sprinkel about our Riverside Onion Seed production. This is the third time that we've worked with this crop, so you would say third generation from an original heirloom strain that we started working with in 2012. And we're going to talk with Steve about his experience with onion plant breeding, what he thinks is a great onion, and just learn a little bit more about his farming operation and history.
I've grown onions commercially since 1984. Since I've done it for so long, I kind of grew up saving seeds, you know, the back to the land, self-reliant kind of thing. And also there was the politics of hybridization, which meant that you had to be an expert in order to provide a hybrid crop. And we didn't turn our back on hybrids, but we wanted to find out more about open pollinated crops. And so I still have a preference for open pollinated crops. There's a half a dozen or maybe 8 international seed companies that essentially are managing all of this seed production. And that just doesn't seem smart. It seems better for all of us to share our responsibility by sharing the seed production. This is what I'm looking for. I mean, I like to see an onion that has a sloping shoulder like that. You're never going to see an onion like this at retail.
Yeah.
I mean, they may segregate them out and then process them. See how conical it is? It's not round. And so you'll never see, because it's not perfect. You know, they want something that's perfect. They want something that's a perfect onion, like this. You see, they want perfect onion. Because the American consumer has been promised an abundant supply of perfect food. These are 400-foot beds with 3 lines on a bed. The onion has to be as far apart as your weeding hoe. I planted these a month before the yellows, thinking I would be done with the reds before the yellows were done, but now the yellows are finished. And the reds, as you can see, still are upright. And see, an onion is ready when the top falls over. That's when you know they're done. They're done growing because the top has fallen over. And you see these reds are difficult to harvest because they're growing, they set themselves deep. And what we did too, we planted mediums, which is what Navazio suggested.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, it seems like plant large to get large, but we're not going to argue with him. It was a good crop. I mean, there's no problem with it whatsoever.
I was pretty happy with the results in 2019. I was looking over the piece that I wrote about it on Medium, and the population size was less than I wanted. Navazio suggests like 120 to 200 to maintain genetic resiliency.
It took quite a while to figure out the nuances of growing onions because the literature was not very revealing about day length, short day, medium day. It seems like the industry has only recently gotten hip to the fact that people want to know about that. You would grow the wrong onion variety and then it would refuse to bulb because it was a long day onion, which is grown in the northern tier, Washington, Minnesota, and so on. And you know, in terms of like onion production in general, gophers will eat these, deer won't, ground squirrels won't, rabbits won't. And so you take away an awful lot of wildlife management by growing things like this.
The crop looks really good over there, and what I kind of noticed is that there was like virtually nothing to cull. So I found one off type that had a flat leaf on it, and that was it. I buried the flowers because
Oh, is that what it was?
that's what it was.
I wonder what that was.
I buried the flowers because I didn't want it to
I
cross.
thought it was a lot of angry, nervous energy or something.
I mean, there was a little bit of that, but yeah, I just improvised because, you know, what's the point of calling out an off type if the thing's going to go to flowers?
One thing is that growing this crop here next to them was kind of fortuitous, even though we didn't plant it, because those same beneficial insects are living in there. So anytime you grow flowers like this, they're after the nectar. Although you don't see many bees in here, you see bumblebees a little bit.
Or no early bolting, nothing late. It just seems like it was really beneficial, the selection that you did of those medium-sized bulbs, because it looks really nice. Having never done bulb to seed before, I can see the benefits of it.
Yeah, that's a pretty mature seed pod right there. So, yeah, and a lot of these are still starting. And so we have 1, 3, 5 beehives. We control and trap ground squirrels, and we prevent deer. But the whole farm now is starting to get surrounded by flowers and non-edible crops like this. So like you have this big open space, and then you have something that a ground squirrel doesn't want to eat. So it's really not that attractive to them. And then next door, something that they don't eat. And then next door, something they don't eat. See, so it works out good to have the beneficial insect habitat. We don't tend to have a lot of insect pressure, and I think it's because we have all these flowering crops, especially seed-bearing crops, like cilantro, parsley, the ami that we grew last year, and the arugula, Queen Anne's lace. Yeah. Those things are habitat for all of our friends. Well, I should probably go, but thanks a lot for this opportunity to share our seed adventures here with Plant Good Seed.